Good morning. It's a fine Sunday morning, day of my mom's funeral. I'm in Richmond, Indiana. I took this load just so I could get down to attend the family function, and I wanted just to slightly out of route eastbound to get over here. They had plenty of time. I talked to the agent, and they said you deliver as you see fit. So multiple stop, Tulsa and Catoosa, Oklahoma. And these Cat engines, as you can see, there's quite a few units and the accompanying boxes that go with it. So we're kind of going to go over it now. This is the same shipper that says change directly on the motor I preferred, with no padding, because they have touch-up paint, and don't worry about it because it gives you a better grab. So if you see anything touching paint, it's okay. I was instructed to do that. So this one is 16,000 pounds. Has a really stable man-made laminated cradle, and there's really not much to go by as far as putting chains. So I had to shoot the gap here with one chain and go over the footer mounting studs here. And that's the best I could do. That's the only thing you can do. You can't go over it. Remember, there's way too much business. You couldn't put a strap. You just can't do it. You can make things crunch, and that's not going to work. So in here, this one was an interesting one, and I did ask questions about it. They said, yeah, I'll just try and touch that base and see if you can come over with an angle chain, and that way it'll grab that sturdy casting. So that worked for me, and that's the best grab I could get. But you had to just kind of loop it up and over and pull while you're laying everything out, and then keep some tension while you're tightening. So everything went over, and it's just drum tight. Now some of these are really small gas engines, smaller, but easy enough to strap because they're well set into their bases with extreme lag bolts. And I check them all, make sure that they're all tight and they're all drilled in really good. Excuse me. On this one, I had a little bit of room to play with, so what I did was I used chain straight over. There's really not a lot I could do otherwise, and it seemed to catch everything pretty good. It's not going to go anywhere. This one I did go straight through, and there was no need. It was a nice smooth steel, was painted very smooth, no abrasions to worry about anything on the strap, and it gives a little counter pull. I haven't had any problems. I-70 is a rough road, and I had just a couple of chains to get like a 1.5 turns, and even from that much rough road, there's no problem. So, you know, like stuff like this is all, you know, slight abrasions of the paint from the shifter, no issue, and they'll have touch-up paint on the other end. All these are just tight, and everything is boxed in. It's nice and closed. I don't worry about chains coming through. I just lay them in the tray. So, you know, everything is just tight. This one I did go up and over because I didn't really trust this one. So there's no bolt here, so I didn't want to have any, you know, issue there. Even though it's good thick, I think it's probably 3/8 plate. I just wanted to get something where there was an actual bit of tie down to the wood. So I didn't want to get any pull or anything weird on that. Same over here. I went right up over the top. This one was a little different. Now it's because I have some of the blank spots, and I went right in there. It's actually dug into the wood, the chain link, and I didn't care. I wanted to make sure that it had a heck of a grab and was coming over at an angle. It's the only play I had to kind of go up and through and over to a chain pocket. It's a little bit different, but that's okay because there's no slide in here. This is, you know, still pretty tight. You can't slide, and this one is giving a slight pull to the front. There's plenty of room on the back. There's no overhang. And you can see everything from the other end. So I just wanted to show you this one. It's definitely going to be different because of our dimensions on our pieces. Some of them they had to load basically would be sideways because there's no pockets, as you can see, for the forks. So they actually had to load them from the rear and push them forward. When we get to the other end, I may end up hooking chains and then doing a small drag. You know, and it's going to be a pain in the ass, but I just have to work with them. And if they get upset, well, everybody needed to get served. They wanted to have a decent freight rate for their single pieces, and just have to understand and work with us, because that was what the shipper planned. You know, I mean, I used a whole 51-foot trailer minus my dunnage pieces and everything. I mean, I'm danged if I do, danged if I don't. Whether I have those up top, you know, which would have been better, then I could have moved everything forward. We might have been able to shift things around. But they made these things where they wouldn't sit side by side. For the width, I think they were 52 inches. And if they'd have made them, you know, 51, we'd have 102. But no, it was over width by an inch on each side. And it's like, we pointed that out, we discussed it, and I thought, you know, maybe if you guys can go through in your meetings and then discuss your pallet designs and maybe get it to where you can switch these motors side by side, because the height is the same. They shouldn't have any issue running chains over and being able to trap everything. Plus it gives the lengthwise, you know, for braking instead of tippy this way. So I'm not really that worried, but you know, there's always a concern about that. As long as everything holds in here, we should be fine. But you have to think about it. That's why it took so long to discuss. We had to redo it multiple times to get everything just right, even with you know, measuring stick. You know, I just used my feet. I have a size 12 shoe, and it's nice. And I walked it out. I said, I think these are a little wide, and this, that, and we got down and we started measuring. So when they understood the concern on that, maybe in the future they'll do that, but you don't want to be messing around and having to worry about something having a problem with brand new motors that are surely quite expensive. Everything is tight. As you can see, there is no gaps front to rear, and we made sure of that, so they had touching. And that one probably has a little bit, but I mean, it hasn't gone anywhere. This one, you know, being the biggest motor, I think I had like a 1.5 turns on one of the deals. It was just settling in, whether it would settle in on the cradle or just vibration and rough road movement, but it settled in really nicely, and I was able to tighten it up, and I haven't had a single another issue after that. So the special concerns here were with multi-level boxes, to make sure that you got strap touching each point. You're not over tightening and crushing the boxes. You don't want to do that, because probably should walk around, and I'll show you another concern that I have with the boxes I forgot earlier. Right here we used a piece of dunnage to make sure, because this height was different than this one, and they were able to put a piece in here, and I was able to give it a good tighten down to make sure that there was some pressure on these lower boxes. So, and that was, when I got to the fueling, this one had moved by about an inch or maybe a finger's width. So as soon as I gave it one click on the strap, I tightened it down. You can't move it. So it should be a lot better than what it was. But that's the kind of stuff you have to watch for, and of course you got to go by when it comes to delivery time, matching everything up with the numbers and stuff. And that's where it gets to be a little bit of a pain. I had them mark each one, but it turned out later I got an email that one of the bill of ladings had the wrong town, so I had to change everything, and my order of loading changed as well. But we'll just work with it. It's already on there, and nothing I can do about it. So you're going to run into things like that on occasion. Everybody's just human, you know, they make mistakes. Yeah, I got a lot of junk here. I mean, it's getting to the point now where I don't use it as often, but there's times when I've had to pull out a bunch of this stuff and use all my V-boards, 50% of my tarps, and some of my wood for like hazmat bunkers. So I end up using this whole bundle, part of that one and half of that one. Is just, I want to be ready and available to be able to haul any of that kind of stuff. So I think that's about it. It's going to be a really nice day, and it's getting to be towards autumn in Indiana. It's almost harvest time. The corn's starting to brown up at just about that time of day. So I guess that's it, and we'll see you on the road.